Karen trespassed my driveway to take photos. I'm a federal privacy auditor. There's a line between nosy and criminal. Karen pole vaulted over it with a camera in hand and lies on her lips. I work for the Office of the Inspector General specifically. I'm a federal privacy compliance auditor. My job is to make sure government agencies, contractors, and corporations don't overstep the law when it comes to data, surveillance, or personal rights. I don't just read privacy law, I enforce it. Irony is, I moved to this little cul-de-sac in Maple Hollow to get away from the bureaucratic noise. Quiet street, clean air, a house tucked at the edge of the neighborhood with a long, gated driveway. It was perfect for someone like me, security conscious, low profile, and tired of watching people push boundaries for a living. Then Karen showed up. Her real name was Colleen, but everyone called her Karen, even her husband. I later found out, blonde bob, mirrored sunglasses, always in pastel athleisure, and armed with a clipboard that screamed misplaced authority. First week here, she walked up to my door. "Welcome to Maple Hollow," she chirped, handing me a homemade newsletter. "As HOA chair, I'd like to remind you that decorative fencing needs approval, and your mailbox is 2 inches too tall." I frowned. Maple Hollow doesn't have a registered HOA. That was dissolved 3 years ago. She blinked like I'd slapped her with facts. "Well, it's informal, but I still represent neighborhood interests." "You mean you represent yourself?" That was the beginning. A week later, I noticed my front gate ajar. That gate was motion-triggered and required a PIN code. No one could just waltz in. But it had been pushed open, and a set of boot prints ran across the gravel, up to my garage, and back out. So I checked the footage. There she was, Karen, walking onto my driveway with a camera in hand, snapping photos of my windows, car, even through my mailbox slit. She even tried to lift a tarp off one of my inspection drones, a federal tool not meant for civilian eyes. That crossed every line. Legally, personally. I took screenshots, watermarked them, printed them. Then I waited. 3 mornings later, I caught her again. She was squatting next to my hedge, phone aimed through the slats in my fence. She didn't even look guilty. She looked curious, like she was entitled to know everything happening on my property. I stepped out of the front door and said, just loud enough for her to hear, "Federal Code 18 U.S.C. 1030. You just violated it." She stood, blinking. "I'm documenting violations. That's not illegal. You trespassed, accessed restricted devices, and photographed secure materials. I thought I saw something suspicious." "You saw a drone and a tarp." She stepped forward. "I have a right to know what goes on in this community. And I have a duty to protect federal property from a civilian tampering. That's a felony." That's when she snapped. "You don't scare me with your fake badges. You're just some guy playing secret agent in a cul-de-sac." That's when I pulled it out. Not a gun, not a threat, my federal credentials. She went pale. "Ms. Colleen Jennings," I said, "I have documented evidence of you committing no less than 4 federal privacy violations. You trespassed on protected property, accessed controlled tech, and attempted to surveil a federal employee's home without warrant or cause." She took a step back. "You're bluffing. I'm recording this conversation. You can't do that without—" "I'm on my property. I can—" Her voice faltered. I was just following the rules. I represent the HOA." I smiled. "You are the HOA, and by that, I mean you're the only person who thinks it still exists." I started investigating, pulled up the county records, found 0 filings for any active homeowners association. The fines she had been handing out were fabricated. The guidelines she emailed came from an old PDF she downloaded and edited. Worse, she'd been selling information, names, phone numbers, email addresses scraped from the neighborhood welcome list. She'd built a spreadsheet and sold it to a local real estate broker to track property values and potential sellers. That's not just shady, that's a federal privacy violation. I called a buddy at the Department of Justice, filed a full complaint with documented evidence. Then I did what any compliance officer would do. I mailed every household in Maple Hollow a letter. Inside was a QR code to a secure website, a report, a breakdown of every fake rule, every privacy breach, every falsified citation, and the video of Karen crawling on my driveway, trying to peek into my garage. Within hours, the neighborhood message board lit up. Karen's been spying on everyone. She told me I couldn't plant azaleas. She tried to find me for hosting my niece's birthday party. She made me send her my guest list before I could host Thanksgiving. It snowballed. Someone from Channel 5 News called. They aired the story, Maple Hollow's fake. HOA president caught trespassing. Victim is federal privacy officer. Karen tried to spin it, said I was overreacting, manipulating the law, and targeting her because she was a woman with opinions. The internet didn't buy it. Neither did the FBI. They charged her with unlawful surveillance, trespassing, and impersonating a regulatory official. She's currently facing a federal investigation for unauthorized data handling and wire fraud. Her newsletter website taken down, her house up for sale. The community came alive after that. People started hosting open porch nights, barbecues. A real volunteer-led council was formed with bylaws and public votes and transparency. Trust, once broken, was being rebuilt. And my mom, she now brings cookies to the Saturday meetings. Go figure. Privacy isn't just a buzzword. It's a boundary, and boundaries matter. So here's my question for you. What would you do if someone broke into your life, disguised their control as rules, and stole your peace? Drop your thoughts. Let's talk about trust, fake power, and the real price of watching others too closely.